Hello, and welcome to yet another session of Grow Your Coaching and Training Business. Today we have with us Sandeep Kaul. Sandeep, it's an honor to have you. Sandeep
Thanks
tells,
for it.
thank you, you're welcome. And Sandeep helps senior business leaders and entrepreneurs to achieve 4x results. He's so very specific about it, and I absolutely love that. He says he's a 4x results, getting them to overcome procrastination, self doubt, using a very systematic accountability framework. And he has been very systematic in using this accountability framework. If you go to his LinkedIn profile, which he uses very thoroughly, it's all about accountability and how you can achieve a lot just by being doing that. He's also the author of the book, The Accountability Clock: Building Accountability in Workplace. And I believe that's the first book written in India about accountability. A full time executive coach, uh, Sandeep will definitely let us know more about what he does.
Thanks, Prosperity. And hello, everyone, and welcome to this conversation. So, I'm an executive coach who works with business leaders and entrepreneurs, helping them overcome procrastination and self doubt so that they can achieve their goals faster. Um, and why that is so is because most of the people already know what are the two or three key goals that they need to work on. It's just that the action is what is missing from them. And that could be for a variety of reasons, starting from mindset, innermost beliefs, or it could be just plain simple action, or it could also be a function at a senior level about their interpersonal effectiveness, how they can get the team along. So I work with them and help them make the progress. And that is what I do for a living. For the last 8 years, I'm a full time executive coach focusing around accountability.
Okay. So it's a very interesting point that you just mentioned when you're talking about accountability and people have to take action, and they might be stopped from taking action from their mindset, their interpersonal skills, from seniors. So there is a whole lot of things around action as well, right? So how does your coaching sessions actually? How is your coaching? Do you build this in your coaching sessions?
Right. So I'll just tell quickly a backstory on how this came around.
Hmm.
So while I was coaching, I think 2.5 years back, uh, I realized I had a aha moment, and where I realized that coaching is an amazing thing for our clients, and coaching sessions really help them move the needle. But what's important is I was just thinking that how can I support them between the sessions, because life happens for them between the sessions also. And
Absolutely.
yeah, so and the way I look at it is a coach is like a dental surgeon, and between the sessions clients need to brush their teeth, and brushing the teeth is even more important than visiting the dental surgeon, because if they do it regularly, then they need not visit also dental surgeon. Yeah. So
Yes.
and starting from there, I started a step by step. I think later in the talk we'll get into details on how it got, but it started from that. And it started because I started focusing on coaching as a full-time career.
Hmm.
uh, and once you start focusing on something, I think then you start going deeper into it, and then you start seeing the nuances, and then later is experience.
Hmm. Okay. So, while that's a very beautiful metaphor that you just gave. Yes, the coaching sessions are important, but everything in between is actually much more important, whether the client is taking action in on whatever the set goals are or not. So, how did you actually define your niche then? While we spoke about this aha moment, what led you to actually then say that this is what I will focus on, and then everything comes around it?
Okay. So I think I understand as a coaching, you can do coaching to any of the individuals that you can do coaching. That's important. But a lot of clients that I work with, sometimes they need a little bit of mentoring also. And
Hmm.
and I realized that professionals who have been there, done that, for them, they the clients that I work with are normally decision makers in their organizations, and
Okay.
lot of time decision makers like to take decisions. Okay.
Hmm.
Like besides the coaching sessions, which are useful, so
Mhm.
then they need somebody who can give them some bit of uh, share his or her experience. And I
Mhm.
thought that also worked in addition to the coaching sessions. And I saw
Mhm.
that as a total combination package, they were able to move forward faster. Yeah, so some of my life experiences I could share
Mhm.
with them, and it
Mhm.
really helped them. And then I saw this was resonating. And as you
Mhm.
say, that, you can vision is only hindsight. So it took me a couple of years by seeing how the clients were there coming, and then I
Mhm.
paused and then I reflected back, and
Mhm.
so I saw that I'm resonating with these individuals more who are from a corporate background or who run their own businesses.
Okay.
That's why I defined this part. And second
Mhm.
is about the focus around procrastination and self doubt. That
Mhm.
came because I think procrastination is a very common issue, and
Mhm.
senior people, and especially sometimes people may grow very fast in a corporate job. They might have self doubts, but in a company they're not able to speak with somebody else. So there,
Right.
that I saw that that was a thing that they looked at. So I focused on these two areas, and I think once people are clear about what they want to do, then the
Mhm.
progress happens much faster. So that's why I
Right.
say procrastination and self doubt.
Okay. So procrastination and self doubt is something that you focus on. At the same time, you said that it took you a couple of years, to really figure out what you wanted and to position yourself. So, what was the initial roadblocks that you faced to position yourself and to really realize that this is what you want to do?
Okay, so actually, so tell you when I started how I got into coaching in the first place. Actually, I got into without doing any coaching program, and how I started was I was with a client who wanted to do something for their
Sandeep, you have
company.
gone on mute, I think.
Yes,
Yeah.
thanks, Prosperity, for telling that. This started in 2012, and I was with a client who wanted to do something for their company, and they were a market leader in their space with
Mhm.
80% market share. The
Mhm.
CEO wanted to do that, and it's like 9 years back, and we had, I think, 3 or 4 meetings, and then we almost jointly discovered that there's something called coaching. Okay, and I was
Okay.
not a qualified coach that
Hmm.
point of time, and I said great. And then we got a coach, and I think so there were 20 people over 3 years we worked with the firm, and the first set of 4 people were coached by the first person, and I think then he had a personal issue because of which he could not take the second and third batch. And
Okay.
just by luck, I said, you know what, I'm selling this service to the client. I should
Mhm.
know what is going
Mhm.
in the service.
Mhm.
So let me take a ICF certified course, which I did with a firm. And
Yeah.
then this thing happened that the coach could not continue for almost 6 months, and that's how I needed to step in, and it was like literally baptism by fire. Uh, and and then obviously that's how I got into coaching. And then I think because that, and also the firm, because we got 20 clients, 20 participants.
Right.
So it was a very rich experience, and it was fully systemic coaching that I
Mm.
experienced. I think it was good. Normally, people are not so fortunate, so that was helpful.
Mm.
After that, there was a lull for almost 3 years because I also have a video production business,
Mhm.
uh, and I was focusing on that. And then I took a call 2.5 years back to focus primarily around
Mhm.
coaching. And
Right.
then as I started focusing uh, on coaching, I think I started getting deeper into it, and that's how I
Mhm.
started seeing that how can I support clients,
Mhm.
how can I facilitate their support them by ways that they can do themselves, or I can use some technology. So it was a kind of a step by step thing. You did
Mhm.
something and you worked with the clients, then
Mm.
there is a feedback, and it develops over a period of time, and now
Right.
it's broadly there.
Okay.
Yeah, so this was my journey, and along the way, I was fortunate to speak to Siri and
Hmm.
Sat. I experienced in the workshop only, but
Hmm.
Siri I did, and I think what really attracted me to them was, I think they are coaching is, you're giving something, and they're very spiritually anchored. So I believe
Hmm.
that at some point it's about questioning and other things, but it's also about the energy that you emanate, and I think they were
Absolutely.
evolved. So
Yeah.
frankly, when I came to the workshop, I just wanted to just feel the energy, and I think these two people are really at a different level.
Absolutely. So, and it was really wonderful to have you in the sessions as well, because having done your coaching and being an experienced coach, the way you were just a student and learning everything that was being taught as part of the Innermo Shift coach training, it was absolutely wonderful, because you for me, at least when I observe it, it was something. I absolutely love it when people put aside their expertise and just learn something new, and you were doing that 100% in the workshop. So
Thank you.
that's really very wonderful. So since you brought that up, Sandeep, what was your experience with Inamo Shift coaching? Like, how did your interaction with your clients change after you completed this?
uh, I think there was two things to it. I think one is the workshop, and I think the second is
Hmm.
the way. So workshop was amazing. I think uh, are there other people who do NLP? Sure there are. Are there other people who may have some models here and there? I think, but I think Sat and Siri have lived through that NLP journey, and they've grown step by step. They've experienced, spent years with people who are really who has invested a lifetime, and they themselves have invested. So actually, I think, like, in that workshop, what you get is really a lifetime of experience, and um, uh, you get that, and I think Sat, when he conducts it, he really simplifies the thing in a manner that is very relatable. So really distills the wisdom instead of putting it in jargon. So I think these two are really good. And the third thing, I think, as a coach, the mentoring that they provide is excellent for the coaching sessions. I think the feedback that they give is really uh, not only excellent, I think it's fairly detailed. And it really challenges you to develop yourself as a person. Um,
Okay.
because you might feel that you are successful at the marketplace, but there are some areas that you also don't know, that because you're getting success at the marketplace, you get oblivious to the areas of improvement. And I think
Absolutely.
when they give assessment, they really
Mm.
push you and challenge you to become a better person, so that makes you prepared for the next level. So I think
Right.
that's a big
Right.
benefit that I've experienced personally.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much for it. Um, so, Sandeep, you are you focus solely on LinkedIn, right?
Right.
When you're looking for your clients, right?
Yes.
How does that work for you? And in
uh,
fact, we also say that focus on one social media and not on each, or instead of spreading yourself in each one of them. So, some thoughts on it.
okay. I think it depends on what area that you're looking at in coaching, number one. Second
Hmm.
is what is the scale of your business. But I think for people who are starting, and even for quite a decent size of business,
Mm-hmm.
focusing on one platform is quite enough.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and like for me, I focus on professionals. So most of the professionals are on LinkedIn. So yeah, so focusing on one platform is good. But when you
Mm-hmm.
focus on one platform, my only request is, I think people should be consistent and regular,
Right.
because it's like credibility, and credibility is a currency you can build only over a period of time. So
Right.
uh, it's important to be consistent and follow a regular schedule and share your authentic things, what you want to focus on, so that you are identified as subject matter expertise, so people know that they can go to when they need it. uh,
Hmm.
and uh, although I mean you should focus on one platform, but there are now tools also which you can use like Hootsuite, where you can
Right.
amplify the same message in other platforms in case people do. Like a lot of people tell me Instagram is pretty good. I've not had the time to go for it, but I think what I'm hearing is Instagram is quite useful for a lot of people. But
Yeah.
personally, I'm using LinkedIn. And okay, so just to give a background, it's also because I have built a large connection base over the last almost 10, 12 years since LinkedIn was in
Hmm.
India. So now my connection base is very large. So
Hmm.
that helps me. Maybe for people starting out, they might be wanting to try two, three
Hmm.
platforms and see what resonates with their audience.
Right. Right. Okay. So one is the kind of audience or the kind of the kind of clientele that you're looking at. So what is your area of expertise of business? Okay.
Right.
What are you comfortable with in using? So since you have been using LinkedIn for 10, 12 years and you have a client base or a network base, I would say, in LinkedIn, then that makes it much more suitable for you. And
Yes.
then, of course, most important is being consistent and being seen as a subject matter expert irrespective of what social media you're following. So
Yes.
that's, I think, is the most important thing
Right.
in this, right?
Yes.
What do you have to say about a lot of free trainings that people continuously give on social media? And it's like, take this free training and then you will get this. So what do you have to say about that?
Uh, I think free training. So there is free trainings can, and that's my opinion. And I may be, some people may have a different opinion. I think free trainings work good where you're either selling an online product or you're
Hmm.
selling an individual product where you are not knowing people, but you want them to experience because there are
Hmm.
two approaches. So you launch a product or a
Hmm.
package, and you
Hmm.
want people to experience you. So I think free
Okay.
training that way works very well at the initial stage. Or
Okay.
you have a laddered products. So you used to have a
Hmm.
free product, then you have two levels of upsell, which is typically in life coaching and other products. There it might
Right.
work well,
Hmm.
and there are a lot of formats of free coaching, free trainings. Could be 1 hour or could be those 3 day, 5 day challenges.
Right.
The other thing is, and that is mostly driven by Facebook ads and other things. The other
Hmm.
thing is building a community. The thing
Hmm.
with community is, see, organic is always better, but
Hmm.
organic takes time. So there's a
Right.
trade-off between whether you have the time to build the community or you want to kick-start it faster.
Hmm. Okay.
So, but
Okay.
it works for
So,
some people.
so what do you mean by building the community? What exactly does that mean?
So, building the community means that there are what you are offering. First of all, I think is a belief that what you're offering might be of use to somebody. Yeah.
Right.
So once with that belief, you go out, and there are people who are seeking,
Hmm.
and they seek at different point of times. Not
Hmm.
everyone may want it, as long as you are there in their mind share. So
Hmm.
it's like if they need
Hmm.
help, they can access you.
Hmm.
uh, so let me tell you, because when these people, when you build a community, you share something of value to them.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
when I work with the people, so my ticket size is a little higher. So
Hmm.
for me, even if I have to spend time interacting with people for 1.5 years, it's okay before they become the client, or 2 years.
Right.
That's fairly okay
Hmm.
for me. Maybe for somebody who's selling a smaller life coaching 1 month package or two sessions,
Hmm.
they may
Hmm.
just want to quickly convert somebody and sell that, which will
Hmm.
work well for them.
Okay.
So I would share connect. Second is, what I have seen is that people don't buy coaching; people buy results. Okay,
Absolutely.
so if and one of the things is sharing is, you can share tips, but I think you can share also testimonials of
Hmm.
people,
Hmm.
or feedback from the people, what they have got.
Hmm.
And um, I think that adds value and credence. And
Hmm.
my request is for people to share authentic feedback, because a lot of people sometimes think that let's create some five testimonials and share it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so don't be in a hurry because people can sense authenticity, uh, and I think that is uh, the second thing. Third is I've seen people may want to work with you but may not
Hmm.
have the ability to. Maybe they may not have the willingness, they may not have the budget, they can't afford it.
Right.
So at some point then you can have different programs. So right
Hmm.
now maybe another 6 months I'm looking
Hmm.
at building some programs where people can get into, they
Hmm.
can access me at a
Hmm.
thing, but still
Okay.
work in the progress. But community
Okay.
is like, you can start with 5, 10 people and then grow it small. I mean, the moment you hit 100, I think then the magic starts happening.
Okay. Okay.
Core
Yeah. So,
follower,
of
like,
course.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry, you were saying something.
And also the thing is, by community I mean it doesn't mean that, for example, I have 26,000 connections on LinkedIn. That's not the
Hmm.
great thing. I don't
Hmm.
consider it's a great thing, but the real thing is there are some 3 4 thousand people who are regularly following, because those are the right set,
Hmm.
who are watching, who read the posts regularly. And
Hmm.
so out of that some people are engaging. And the
Hmm.
interesting thing is, a lot of the people what I've seen in the community,
Hmm.
they don't comment, neither like or something, but they are watching from the sidelines. When,
Yes.
yeah, so they consume content, and when the
Hmm.
time is right they reach out. uh,
Yeah. I think that's a very very important point over here, Sandeep, that you just made. That people are actually watching from the sideline. They are probably not commenting or liking or anything else. But if they like your content, if they find your content raises some bit of curiosity in them, then there is a lot of them just following you, and that's what makes this regular followership of even 3 to 4 thousand. That's a like lot of regular followership that is there, and
right.
that ultimately does convert to good clientele. So it might be low budget clientele because people do not have the budget, or a high ticket client, so it could really vary from individual to individual, right?
Yeah.
So that's very important. So Sandeep, what kind of budget do you work with? What kind of what do you charge for the entire package, or how do you propose to a new client?
So I propose the clients typically when they're working. I look at either a 6 months or a 12 months thing
Hmm.
with the clients. Uh,
Mhm.
so I don't go by sessions. Uh,
Hmm.
and uh, and of late, last 8 9 months, I'm seeing a lot of corporate professionals, because COVID has given a lot of time to think what they want to do in life. I think they are
Yeah.
coming also for coaching where they're putting money from their own pocket. So
Right.
So typically, I would look at, and I'll tell the range, but I'll tell the logic what I'm looking at is
Hmm.
that what is the result I'm delivering to them.
Mhm. Hmm.
Okay, and
Hmm.
and and it's not only the result that I'm delivering to them over the 6 to 12 months, but
Mhm.
also the fact that that result would
Hmm.
stay with them while it will keep on reducing over a period of
Absolutely.
time. So actually basis what is the impact that they have. So
Hmm.
typically, I would work with people who would have a high enough problem, high level problem to solve. Because I
Right.
mean, because it's a function of what, if there's a high level problem, then they can accordingly give the fees. And
Absolutely.
yeah, so that is the function that I use. Number one.
Hmm.
Number two is that when I'm looking with professionals and entrepreneurs,
Hmm.
uh, I look at that, if we set with goals and what are the outcomes at the start, you know
Mhm.
and if they are able to achieve the outcomes faster,
Mhm.
i would I would want an extra bonus that I build in.
Okay.
Because see, the thing is that these are people whose time is money. So if I'm saving them time,
Hmm.
then I should get money.
Absolutely.
So,
That's a very, very, very good formula right over there, Sandeep.
yeah,
If they
yeah,
get results faster, you charge a
yeah,
bonus. That's a very good
yeah,
thing.
because the thing is, they are also happy because they are coming for results. So,
Absolutely.
and I think also I work with, because when I'm telling the context and I'll share the price, because most of the people also that I'm working with are people who are above 40, 40 plus
mm,
normally. Now, when
mm,
the people are 40 plus, some of them are 45, 50, so they
mm.
may tend to be hardwired in their life experiences.
Absolutely.
Huh? So,
Mm,
a person has to work
mm,
higher for
mm.
that.
Yes.
Yeah. So typically the engagement of to answer your question that how much would I charge? So it would vary typically from 1 lakh 50 to 6 lakhs
Okay. So
engagement.
150 to 6 lakhs, depending on what the client is, who the client is, but most importantly, what kind of a problem they have and what kind of a results that they are looking for.
Yeah. And there could be 15% people that I might be charging even higher than that. But
Hmm.
why I'm not telling is because that is not the thing. What is
Hmm,
the
hmm,
majority is what is the
hmm.
right thing. Because a lot of people quote some number which they might be doing with couple of clients or four clients.
Right, right.
Not right number to share.
That's not the right number to project and say
Yes.
that this is what you can earn, right? But yes, like you said earlier also, people pay for results. And if you can show them that this is the problem that I can solve for you, or highlight to them or bring to their awareness that this is the kind of problem that you have, and there is a solution. You don't have to live with this problem all your life. You don't have to make it a this is what happens in life kind of a culture. Then yes, people are curious and people are willing to pay for it as well, right?
And yeah, and the other thing is that sometimes I also help. This helps me is this gives me the freedom to sometimes work with people who might
Hmm.
really need coaching and who might have a different budget or their life situation is different. Like,
Hmm.
because I'm on LinkedIn and I'm with professionals, so as a coach, our thing is also that we need to give like teacher. So
Hmm.
commercial is very important to earn a living, but
Hmm.
what money also provides you is the freedom to do philanthropy. So there are
Absolutely.
there so in my community there, like last I think 5 6 months, a lot of professionals have lost jobs, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
sometimes I would do a coaching session with them. So
Hmm.
like they would need around career or some specific thing.
Yeah.
So I do it, and that could be really very nominal just for the namesake. I might
Hmm.
take,
Hmm.
but I would say don't do free
Hmm.
because when you pay something, you value it,
Yeah.
and it might be nominal. That is okay, but
Hmm.
take it. I think that's
Hmm.
important.
Yeah. Yeah. I think when you charge money, no matter what the amount is, it also brings in much more accountability. It's not something which leaves the other person with, let's try it and see if it works. There is a commitment from the other person as well. So no matter
Absolutely,
how much the amount it is. Absolutely.
absolutely.
So let's talk about your book, Sandeep. I think that's really interesting. The accountability clock, building accountability in workplace. So the first author in India to write about accountability. So would you like to share details about your book with us?
Yeah, so this also is a function. I think it's where your focus goes, the energy flows. So, like I said, 2.5 years back, I was focusing on coaching, and then I focused on accountability. And when I
Hmm.
was working around this part, because my
Hmm.
work is around accountability, either by procrastination, when you help people overcome that,
Hmm.
I saw that everyone was talking about accountability and ownership for their employees, but there's
Hmm.
not a single book written in India. Number one.
Right.
And second thing, what I saw was that, uh, frankly, we do need a book because we are a growing economy. And actually, if you look at it, so India specific examples people did not have to give for accountability and ownership. And so this book that I have written because they are human beings. Because I think in coaching, professional, whoever comes to the workplace, he's first a human being. Yeah.
Hmm.
So it's important to see the personal life and
Hmm.
professional life together, and they
Hmm.
come from a society. So the
Hmm.
society already has a chalta hai culture. So there
Yeah.
is a underlying accountability issue. That
Hmm.
so how do we address that? Although it's changing,
Hmm.
and I try to. So the starting of the book focuses on society.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it focuses on society,
Hmm.
and then it gets into the workplace,
Hmm.
and then it gets into the professional self. Uh,
Okay.
how, because a lot of times people, they say that accountability is an issue. with
Okay.
everyone else except themselves. And
Yeah.
so actually, accountability starts with self. You
Yeah.
know, first you need to show up the person that you want to be, and
Hmm.
then you go and work with others,
Hmm.
ask them to be accountable. So
Yes.
it works on all these three things.
Hmm.
And I think that was the whole purpose. And I would also like to acknowledge, so I worked with my co-author Paramjeet Singh. So I've co-authored this book with Paramjeet Singh. uh, so I worked with him over the last 7 8 years, and we jointly worked on this project.
Hmm.
And I think the best thing is 80% of the material is Indian. We looked at
Hmm.
society, corporate, and real life professional examples. So we just launched this book on 12th February. And
Hmm.
and that circles us back to the question that you asked initially about how to build community. So so I posted 2 days back on LinkedIn.
Hmm.
So uh, so that post got viral. So people who are watching this, they can check my LinkedIn profile. So 2 days back, this post got like 36,000 views. So the book has got sold out. So we were not anticipating that so quickly. So we sent it immediately for the reprint. So from Saturday, I think it will be again available on Amazon
Hmm.
uh, in paperback. But the Kindle version is available right now also, and
Okay.
it's across all the countries.
Okay.
So this is the book. So accountability clock. Uh, if people
So
want
there
to
it
buy.
is, the accountability clock, a beautiful book. And so, Sandeep, how do people get to your LinkedIn account? So, what's the LinkedIn handle, if that's what it's
So,
called?
they can just search for Sandeep Sandeep
Hmm.
space Kaul, and
Okay.
and I think if they type coach, then my name
Okay.
should come first, hopefully.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah, just that simple on LinkedIn.
Okay. Perfect. So, here's the thing: you can search for Sandeep Kaul Coach on LinkedIn. Get the book, and on Amazon, you can order the book as well. The Accountability Clock: Building Accountability in Workplace. Right. Um,
And it will be
so,
available Saturday. Actually, Saturday they can order
available from Saturday. Yeah.
paperback. Yes.
Okay. So, what was your journey to writing a book?
Okay.
How,
So
what made you start to write the book, and like, what was the entire thing?
okay. When I was one day thinking how the idea came was that, see, when you write a book, what do you become? You become an author. Okay.
Yeah.
And if you look at English language, the
Hmm.
word author and authority, they have the
Hmm.
same root, word root.
Right.
So if you want to become authority in something, you need to be an author. That was the
Huh.
base premise that I started with. Uh,
Okay.
and
Never really looked at it that way, but yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and since I help people to get results faster, I thought, I can do something quick, but book takes time. I think
Hmm.
it's not like so you have to give it time. So I
Hmm.
started with first understanding what my clients are asking me, okay,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
what are the issues. And if for anyone who's thinking of a book, I would
Hmm.
suggest that first look at the is that the question, prosperity you would
Yes.
want?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Please.
So for anyone who's thinking of writing a book, first of all, I will strongly recommend
Hmm.
people to write a book
Hmm.
uh, in their specific area of interest. It
Hmm.
ideally should be an area of interest.
Hmm.
And then what they need to do is they need to start with just making a small fishbone diagram,
Hmm.
like in school, and
Hmm.
build those 10 main things, that 8 to 10 things that people ask them, or some people might be interested in knowing about that subject.
Hmm.
Write the questions for those topics
Right.
and make the manuscript.
Hmm.
Okay. Once they do that, typically a good decent sized book. So if you take 10 topics, you take and you answer maybe 5 questions in each of these topics, you
Right.
will easily fill around 70 to 80 A4 pages. Okay.
Okay. Hmm.
And when you write a book, then
Hmm.
it almost doubles in size, so it will
Hmm.
become a 150 or 170 page book.
Hmm.
So I would, so this is in its simple entirety how you can think of it, and then I would
Hmm.
highly recommend that if they can afford, they should have get an editor,
Hmm.
or they get Grammarly,
Hmm.
and spend time on planning what is the audience, what is the information that they want to give, I think, and then write the book. Spend time in planning what is the communication. And second thing that they need to do is that what will they do after the book, because people don't make money from books, people make money based on what they do because of the books.
Okay,
Okay,
that's
so
important, huh?
yeah, I mean, just to give an example, even Chetan Bhagat just makes 20% of his income from books.
Okay.
So don't look at books as an income thing. Look at what the
Hmm.
possibilities and the doors it opens up, because you're able to establish authority in the
Hmm.
place, in the domain that you are working in. So
Okay.
once that is done, I think it's good to maybe engage with 2 3 authors and understand. So I will not get into the technicalities, but
Yeah.
somebody who's committed can
Hmm.
complete a book between 4 to 6 months. A decent sized book. My book got a little longer, so it's like almost a 260 page book. But typically, books 150 to 170 pages is good enough.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. So, Sandeep, I- while I'll repeat all the steps that you said for our audience, what I liked the best was that, uh, book is not about making money. It's all
Yeah,
about the possibilities and doors it opens from establishing yourself as an authority in that domain, right? So
right.
that's something that's very important. Um, so yeah, for writing the book, first of all, what's important is what is my client asking me, and am I really the expert in that? So is that something that is of interest to me? What does my audience want? Then list down the questions for those topic, make a fishbone diagram, write down a manuscript that takes around 70 to 80 pages, which when goes into the form of a book makes it
Maybe
152.
so just to correct, don't look at the pages. First is just identify the 10 topics and maybe answer the questions that your clients might want to know answers to. So try answering that, even if it's more or less, that's okay, but focus on
But
what your audience needs.
more important is what your audience needs. Okay,
Yes.
that's really interesting. Okay, and then get an editor. Grammarly is something that you mentioned, which is very good for checking the grammar. And what else do you do when you after you've finished all these steps? How does the publishing go?
So for publishing, I think you can learn. You can do yourself. Most of the books, 90% of the books in the world are sold through Amazon nowadays, either in
Hmm.
paperback or Kindle. So even
Yeah.
you, one platform, you can do that.
Hmm.
You can publish it yourself. So there
Hmm.
are steps where you need to register your book for copyright. So before
Hmm.
that, you need to check for plagiarism. So you can register
Hmm.
for copyright. Once you do that, then you can upload it on Kindle, and you can self-publish it yourself. Also, now there are print-on-demand services, and if
Right.
you can afford that,
Hmm.
afford some money. I mean, it might take between 20 to 50,000 rupees. Then you can even get it self-published by somebody, so that you don't need to learn this thing, and you can focus on your what you do best, which is coaching, and you can
Hmm.
get somebody else to focus on doing the self-publishing thing. So typically, if you engage a publisher, self-publisher, it might take 1 to 1.5 months, and if you engage a big publishing house, it could take around 1 to 1.5 years. Uh,
Hmm.
the thing is, publishing houses are very choosy in this. They are choosing the books that they want to publish.
Hmm.
Uh, but the advantage is you don't invest any money of your own, and they have a bigger distribution reach. With self-publishing, you can publish it, and it's a shorter time frame. So it's a trade-off
Okay.
that you get.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Sandeep. So there are all the pros and cons for self-publishing or hiring someone to publish your book, and then you go about doing your own research and choose which one is best for you.
Yes.
Uh, the last question on the book, Sandeep: how does writing a book help you get more coaching clients or help you to get more training assignments?
Right now, it's just 5 days, so maybe it's too early for to
Yeah.
comment. But jokes apart, I think that
But
what I've heard from people, and is it um, increases your credibility in the subject
yeah.
matter that you're working on,
Hmm.
and second is that people start seeing you as
Hmm.
you get one level up. It
Hmm.
helps. But if you really want to get benefit from writing a book, you need to be consistent in terms of pushing it for maybe 12 to 18 months, so that leads to speaking engagements. You reach out with the message. Maybe initially you might have to do master classes and other things for the people, but
Hmm.
and once that gets momentum,
Hmm.
after 8 9 months, everything starts coming together.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I would say that it's more like a marathon rather than a sprint. So they need to pace themselves, and along the way, they might get lucky. Like, for example, because the harder you work, the luckier you get. So, like
Yes.
the pay, the post. A lot of people say when you are putting a book, you do a book launch and all that stuff.
Hmm.
Uh, so I decided not to do a big book launch. So the
Hmm.
book launch that I did was that basically I sat with my family and
Hmm.
my wife and my daughter, and we cut a cake, and we also got the housing complex residence.
Yeah.
So and that is the photograph that I put on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Uh, this is my small book launch, and because there was a community on LinkedIn, so that actually got it amplified. So it's not really
Absolutely.
that you need to do all things like a marketing thing. You can do your own natural thing. That's fine. Just be yourself.
Absolutely. I think what what my personal takeaway from this would also be that don't just rush to write a book. Don't become a coach today and write a book tomorrow and then kind of publish it day after tomorrow. But take your time, become a coach that find out what you want to really do, become a real expert in that, build a community, build do all the things that you have to do, and then write a book when you really know what your client is, what your area of expertise is, and that is much more fruitful than just
I think
putting
that's a
things out there.
very valid point, Prosperity, and glad that you brought it up. And just to add on to that point, while writing a book, please don't look for any shortcuts. And I will be very honest with you. So I'm actually writing another book which is due out for publishing in. It will get published either in March end or in mid-April, and
Mm,
that's about coaching at workplace.
mm,
And I'm co-authoring with Rupinder Kaur, and so we're working on this book. And I thought that to cut time short,
mm,
maybe one smart thing that I'll do is that we'll write two-third book, and the other thing we'll get coaches from different parts of the world and get them together and write
mm.
their own case studies, and there will be a nice book. And
Right.
I thought it was a great shortcut, but
Yeah.
actually those things take time coordinating all the people, which I realized later. So
Yeah.
please don't take shortcuts. Do what is the right thing. It might take a little bit extra, but it'll be worth it at the end.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for that input as well, Sandeep. One last question I have for you before we leave. You also mentioned that hire a coach for yourself. You know,
Right,
as a coach, we always say every coach needs a coach. So,
right.
how has hiring a coach for yourself helped you?
I think what happens is that, see, you. I think there are two things in this. Okay, one is you hire a coach. Okay,
Mm.
which is important because I think then you are also you are acknowledging how you show up in life. Life shows up for you. So
Yeah.
when you are saying that this is a great thing for people, and it is actually a great thing, then
Yes.
if it's a great thing, then why you are not practicing it? Okay,
Absolutely.
so
Absolutely.
that, I think that's one. And second is that you can't say that I'll be charging X amount for our coaching services,
Hmm.
but when I engage a coach, I will
Hmm.
negotiate with him. So if you're going to negotiate with him, then
Yeah.
you what you will see is how what you do in your life. Life also shows up like that. So
Absolutely.
if you, and I learned it the hard way, to be honest. So if you say you want your clients to pay in full,
Yeah.
okay, then
Yeah.
you say that whether you are working with a coach or you are working with any vendor or any partner, then you
Hmm.
also need to pay them in full. You can't say,
Absolutely.
give me 100% advance, but when I'm working with my partners, I'll give them 25% advance, I'll negotiate. So, I mean, so that's another thing that I've seen in life, that people don't live the life which they expect their clients to live.
Yeah, yeah. It's like saying this diet is good for you, but I will have samosa, kachori, and everything else which is there. So it's actually like that. So thank you so much, Sandeep, for all the valuable inputs. And this was a very interesting session. I hope our viewers too get a lot of learning from this. Um, do comment, like, and share. Do comment all the learnings or any queries that you have. Like and share for whoever you think would be interested uh, in listening to this. And if you want to reach out to Sandeep for his coaching sessions or to know more about what he does, you can always search for him on LinkedIn. Just type Sandeep Kaul coach. Is there any other way that you would want people to reach out to you?
My mail ID is skaul at the rate consultwlc.com, which is scall at
Okay.
consultwlc.com.
SKAUL at
consultwlc.com.
ulc.com. Okay, done. I've just messaged it across.
Yeah, happy to be of help. Either they want to get coached, or they are planning to write a book, or anything that they think that I may be the right person to reach out.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sandeep, for all the insights and the wisdom that you have shared with us.
And
Have a good day.
thanks Prosperity for having me here. Really appreciate, and thanks everyone for joining in today. Bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.